Looks like I rose from the dead. Well, greetings nerds, and happy Monday. Welcome to the 11th episode of Facebook City.
Whoa. Time out. This is actually episode number 12, not 11. That's just me being absolutely absurd and absolutely lazy and not checking on my YouTube channel to see what episode am I on. Again, this is episode number 12.
Now, the next two neighborhoods that we're going to work on in this episode and for the Moskovitz Borough are going to be Azure and King Park. Yes, I did say this in the previous episode of Facebook City that the next time I would do another Facebook City episode, I'm going to work on two neighborhoods, to create a little bit of the challenge and to work a little extra harder. So yeah, we're going to work on two neighborhoods for Facebook City, for the Facebook City drawing for the first time in a while. So without any further ado, I wanted to make sure I'm nice and hydrated because I might end up building the sweats. Let's go ahead and start drawing the neighborhoods.
The neighborhood Azure is named after the type of color that's between blue and cyan. I think I first became familiar with the color Azure for Crayola. There's Azure Crayola color. I think that's when I was first familiar with that color, so yeah. I love creating these type of connections for the Facebook City drawing, and coming up with, not all of the neighborhoods I came up with have to do with the type of blue color, whether it's like sky blue or periwinkle, dark blue or ultramarine, navy blue, etc. Any type of blue color that are real and that are like fake, I guess. I don't know how to best describe it. So I want to talk about the neighborhood of Azure. I did include a lot of fictional places for the neighborhood. Unlike the other neighborhood I worked on Azure first before I can work on King Park. Regardless, let's just talk about the fictional places I included for the Azure neighborhood. Facebook City Police Department. It's no surprise that every major city needs a fire or police department, any of the law and the law/government places. Azure Lutheran Church. What's funny is that I completely forgot to add the churches for the Facebook City drawing. Yeah, every major city needs a religious place, and that is the church or maybe a cathedral. Frederick Douglass Elementary School. It's a elementary school named after the abolitionist, and RIP to that guy. Lenny Bruce Park. It's a park named after that deceased comedian. I don't know why I chose Lenny Bruce. I chose a random celebrity. I just feel nice enough to name these fictional places after a deceased either athlete or politician or world leader, etc., actors or comedians, and so on and so forth. Moskovitz College, last but not least. It's a college named after one of the founders of Facebook. King Park is named after the civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. I pretty much got the idea of naming something after this guy because, I got it from there's a lot of streets that are named after him in the US and Puerto Rico. Mostly in the U.S. mainland, especially in the southern states, there's so many streets, like so many dozens of streets named after Martin Luther King Jr. There's major cities like Chicago or Baltimore, Washington, D.C., St. Louis, just so many cities that have the street named after King, and there's like over 900 streets, actually. It's nuts. It's really, really crazy, nerds. Not just streets, but also schools, maybe smaller other type of buildings besides schools that are named after Martin Luther King Jr. So I want to talk about the places that are in this neighborhood, this fictional neighborhood of King Park, Moskowitz Mall. It's a mall named after one of the founders of Facebook, and it's also named after one of the 5 boroughs of Facebook City, King Park and Community Center, or Recreation Center. So there's a public park, a public pool, and other type of fun places, maybe like a tennis court and basketball court, or like a hockey court as well, ice hockey court. I love creating these fictional places and coming up with fictional street names, etc. I'm really doing my best to mixing the things up, mixing the homes up, not just drawing row buildings, but like single or isolated buildings or homes, coming up with churches, hospitals, police departments, etc. Just so many things that a certain city would need in order for people to survive. And also, I'm not trying to get super repetitive or tedious with these fictional names to come up with fictional places. At some occasions, I would come up with puns just to get extra creative with these places that I would desperately try to come up with. I would have to maybe brainstorm and come up with newer fictional places instead of the same ones from the previous drawings of social media apps as cities. I would have to stick with the same ones if I really don't have any other ideas of what places I should come up with. So it's kind of a cheat. I don't know how to say it in any other way, but I just love getting creative. I would do my best to get creative with these names, whether they're weak or crap or just really good, and those names are comfortable, nice and comfortable for me to stick with.
Okay, nerds, here are the finished neighborhoods of Azure and King Park. For Azure, I did include some good places for the neighborhood. I drew some parking lots, more row buildings and apartments, any of the obvious stuff. I didn't really include that many apartments. Here's one apartment and another. Just a few apartments I included for the Azure neighborhood. Here we got the Moskowitz College. I drew some trees, as you can see. I think it's very difficult for you nerds to see the fire escape stairs. I did draw some fire escape stairs for some apartment. We got the Frederick Douglass Elementary School. We got the police station, and maybe a couple vacant spaces, vacant lots. And here's King Park. I drew a lot of trees down here. I drew an extra building. Maybe it's like an industrial building, whatever. Here we got the Moskowitz Mall. I feel like I drew the mall a little bit too big. It did take up most of this space, most of this area. Oh well, I should have made the mall a little bit smaller, and then the parking lots would have been bigger. We got the King Park and Recreation Center, or Community Center. I thought I did a decent job, a really good job working on 2 neighborhoods in one episode. Azure and King Park. We're making much more perfect progress. So that is going to be the end of this episode, the end of this video. Stay tuned for more content, and I hope this video was quite enjoyable to watch. I will catch each and every one of you nerds later, so thanks for watching.